Most people believe they are aware of their surroundings, and in a basic sense, they are. They notice what they are looking at, but awareness is not the same as attention. So let's start with a simple exercise. Imagine a restaurant. People are talking, servers are moving between tables, a hostess stands near the entrance. Now a quick question. What color shirt was the hostess wearing? If you don't know, that's normal. Most people don't. That doesn't mean you're careless. It means your brain is doing what it always does, filtering information. This is where awareness begins. Awareness is not about fear. It is not about tension, and it is not about constantly scanning for danger. Awareness is orientation. It is the calm ability to understand where you are, what is around you, and what is normal in that moment. When you are oriented, you are calmer. You are less surprised, and when something does change, you notice it earlier. Level 1 awareness is in-person awareness. It is what you notice when you are physically somewhere. One of the simplest habits is always knowing the exits. Not because something bad is going to happen, but because knowing your options reduces uncertainty. When you enter a place, let your eyes naturally register the doors, the main entrance, any side exits, hallways, restroom areas, doors that clearly lead out. This takes only a couple of seconds. There is nothing dramatic about it. You are not planning an escape. You are simply mapping the space. When you already know where you can go, your brain does not need to wonder. Awareness is not about thinking harder. It is about thinking earlier. Where you sit also matters. If you have a choice, sit somewhere with a clear line of sight to high traffic areas. Entrances, main walkways, places where people naturally pass through. This is not about watching people. It is about reducing blind spots. When you can see movement, your brain stays relaxed. When you cannot, your brain keeps checking. A good seat allows awareness to happen without effort. You do not need to stare. You do not need to look intense. You are simply aware of movement. Next, take a moment to understand the layout of the space. Notice where people tend to gather, where the quiet areas are, where sound travels, where movement slows or speeds up. Think of it the same way you do when you walk into a new grocery store. You quickly understand where things are without trying. This is the layout of the land. Now we come to people. Awareness does not mean judging people. It means building context. Take a quiet inventory. There is a family sitting behind you. Someone is drinking coffee alone near the front. A couple sits by the window. Staff move between tables. Nothing about this is suspicious. It is simply context. This context allows you to notice change. Change is the real signal. An observant person does not stare. They simply notice when something shifts, when someone new arrives, when someone leaves, when the energy of the room changes slightly. This is why awareness often feels like intuition. It is not a feeling, it is comparison. You are comparing what is happening now to what was happening moments ago. You do not need your head on a swivel. Constant scanning creates tension, not awareness. Instead, awareness works through quiet updates. When you arrive, you orient yourself, then you relax. Every so often, your eyes naturally move. You notice movement. You notice whether the room is filling or emptying. It is passive. It is low effort. If awareness feels exhausting, you are doing too much. A helpful way to think about this is an old submarine radar. If you remember those old movies, there is a dark room, a large screen, a thin green line slowly sweeping in a circle. Nothing dramatic is happening. No alarms, no urgency. The radar is not searching for danger. It is simply collecting information. Each sweep updates the picture. What is there? What moved? What stayed the same? That is how awareness works. You are not staring at one point. You are not jumping to conclusions. You are quietly updating your understanding of the space around you. Slow sweep, consistent updates, no panic. That is the goal. One of the biggest obstacles to awareness today is the phone. Phones narrow attention to a single point. There is nothing wrong with using your phone, but disappearing into it removes your awareness of the space you are in. That is why people sometimes feel uneasy when they are buried in their phone in public places. Not because something is wrong, but because awareness has been turned off. A simple habit helps. Take short breaks from your phone. Look up for a few seconds. Let your brain rebuild the picture of the room. Then return to what you were doing. Awareness is wide. It is peripheral. It is calm. You are not security. You are not law enforcement. You are not protecting anyone. You are simply observant. Everything you notice is a data point, not a conclusion. You do not jump to stories. You do not assume meaning. You notice, you remember, and you remain calm. At first, this feels intentional. You may notice yourself doing it. Over time, it becomes automatic. You stop thinking about it. Most of the time, nothing comes of it. And that is the point. But when something does change, you will remember that you noticed. Not because you were afraid, but because you were present. That is level 1 awareness. Calm, simple, in person, and it is the foundation for everything else.